hey y'all, it is Monday, October the 17th, and I'm getting around to opening my countdown box goodies today, and I have a little bit of mail to show you, something new to me that I thought I would share. I have to apologize, there is some lawn care going on outside, so if you hear a lawnmower, that is the reason why. So just hope you can fight through this one. So let's start with the 31 Days of Haunted America. This is, of course, Monday the 17th. And this one, oh yay, is another group of floss drops. Again, acrylic. So this one is kind of a spooky, spiderwebby one. This one's an opalescent with some glittery, hopefully the camera's picking that up, and then this one's a black acrylic with glitter in it as well. And the card for today is for the Biltmore Estate, which I think a lot of people know about the Biltmore, which is in Asheville, South Carolina. The mansion was built by George Washington Vanderbilt in 1895 when he fell in love with the Asheville area and wanted a summer home. The house is still owned by descendants of Vanderbilt, and it seems many of them just don't want to leave, even after they died. With over 1 million guests a year that tour the house and property today, you can imagine the ghosted stories that have come of it. Sightings include George himself in all areas of the house, as well as the grounds. His favorite hangout seems to be the study, where he sits among his library books. His wife, Edith, is believed to be the entity guests have heard in the hallways whispering, "George," as if she's looking for her husband. Cold spots, strange smells, and the sounds of footsteps up and down the stairs are reported by many. A headless orange cat is seen wandering through the gardens. Groundspeople report sounds of glasses clinking, laughter, and party-like chatter when no party is going on. So that's very, very interesting. The Biltmore is definitely one of those American, what you might call, you know, large estates that people kind of romanticized. And so, yeah, I guess I didn't know that there was a haunted element to it. And then, of course, this is the cryptid, this is week 3 for the cryptid box. So these are all inclusive. So this is one of those where everything is in it together. Get these out of the way really quick here. And May is with us today. You may have heard her a minute ago. So, of course, we have another package of tea called Bigfoot. The flavor profile says, walk the secret paths of the woods with Bigfoot as your guide to discover a soft, woody mix of maple and cedar that will make you want to hermit away to enjoy a cozy moment. This one's got white tea, tulsi, holy basil, thuja leaves, cornflower, and safflower petals, natural, organic, compliant, natural flavors. So yeah, this is, I have not tried any of these yet, so if anybody's either getting these boxes or has received another box of, I know Fangirl Fibers is the only company that I've received these Tesaurus teas from, so if this is something you're familiar with, I'd be curious to know. I'm not opposed to loose leaf, but a lot of times loose leaf tea kind of is less desirable for me because it's such a mess. I do have like the little sachets that, like, I think Tivana used to sell them, where you could fill them up and then basically they become little, you know, tea bags, disposable tea bags for you. But I just, these are actually nice small packages. If I had to guess, these probably aren't more than like an ounce or 2 of tea. So this is probably nice just because there's probably not more than, you know, 2 or 3 cups of tea. But some of these, the ingredient, you know, the combos are so interesting. I like the packaging so much that, I'm kind of hesitant. So I've received these in the cryptid box, but then I also received some from a Star Wars themed box from fangirl fibers as well. So I've got a few of these piled up in the pantry. I just haven't had the want or desire to open one yet to try them. So I'd be curious if anybody's tried any of these flavors and have any suggestions for where to start, or maybe even what to avoid. Maybe something you didn't like. I'd love to hear about it. So, okay, so in addition to that, I'm already excited because I can tell this is another of Michelle's CC Cuties. So if you follow Michelle, I'm trying to get the glare off of there. She has had several conversations, or not conversations, several hints out there on social media, either through her season of smalls. I think she was trying to do several of these. You know, I don't know that this pattern specifically or the other cryptids specifically, but she had several of these that she had finished. She was trying to work through finishes for her fundraising for murdered and missing Indigenous women, Two-Spirit girls fundraising efforts. So I know that there were some CC Cuties that she had done, but she covered up because she didn't want any spoilers, but she needed to stitch the models really quick. So anyway, so this is really exciting. So this one is Squatch. So Bigfoot, and here's the card. This one says, Bigfoot, the legends of Bigfoot go back beyond recorded history and cover the world. In North America, and particularly the Northwest, you can hear tales of 7-foot-tall hairy men stalking the woods, occasionally scaring campers, lumberjacks, hikers, and the like. Bigfoot is known by many titles with many different cultures throughout the name. Bigfoot is known by many titles with many different cultures, although the name Bigfoot is generally attributed to the mountainous western region of North America. The common name Sasquatch comes from the Salish Sasquatch, while the Algonquin of the north central region of the continent refer to a Wetiko or Wendigo. Or Wendigo, I think is how a lot of people pronounce it. Other nations tell of a large creature much like a man, but imbued with special powers and characteristics. The Ojibwe of the northern plains believe the Rugaru appeared in times of danger, and other nations agreed that the hairy apparition was a messenger of warning, telling man to change his ways. So that's very cool. And then, of course, we got an adorable little Bigfoot needle minder. So cute. And then a couple of nice colors. Another variegated. I really like this one a lot. It's kind of goes from a dark green here to a light yellowy, you know, citrusy green there. And then, of course, you know, just that nice foresty green, you know, for the trees around the edge. So that's very, very good. And, of course, the linen. So we have all that. So that's exciting. Another little small. Maybe I'll have a chance to stitch some of these before the month is up. I really, when I opened the other one the other day, the other tiny one, the Chupacabra, I was so tickled about it. But I'm glad we're getting quite a few of those, so that's exciting. So the other thing I wanted to show you was I actually got this in the mail just this past week and hadn't had a chance to open it yet, so I thought I'd share it with you. And I can't remember who mentioned this, but this company, it's actually a subscription service, was mentioned in somebody's like FlossTube channel, I almost want to say, or Twitch stream or something. So this is sticky, and what I got was basically just, there's the information right there. Hopefully that isn't too washed out. But somebody was given a few sticker sheets, but the person that gave them to them mentioned that they got it through the Sticky Club. So I signed up, and I can't remember because there are different levels, so I didn't want to sign up for like the most extreme expensive one, but I do like my stickers from my journaling. But this was the part that interested me. So it just came in this envelope, you know, just paper envelope. But this is what interested me, was it came in this nice little, if you have a journal kind of like mine, it's got, you know, the ringed binder rings in the center. So this will actually fit in my big leather journal, and I can either add other sticker sheets to this or use this for other things as I go through these sticker sheets. But I thought I would actually show you. So there's a little flap here, and this is a sticker. And I'll kind of hold these up for a minute if you want to see who the artists are or the designers. So that's one little vinyl sticker. And then this is this is a little bit more information on the storage sheet itself, where to get more of the 6-hole binder sheets from them. And then this I thought was really cute. So this is actually a little package that I think have probably, oh, it's already opened, good. Say this has like 2 or 3, but these are designed to be just like little, you know, if you're tracking, if you have an emotional tracker or something. So you have multiple little tracking, like tear off little small pieces. So those are really cute. Or you could use it as a whole sheet if you wanted to. And then the other side has this larger, and this has got a bunch of sticker sheets in it. So we'll go through this really quick. I'll try not to take forever, but these are all different kinds of kitty cats. I like that one. And then the one with the little hat. And the inconceivable, if you've ever seen Princess Bride, that's what it makes me. And I hate it here. I might use that on days I have to go into the office. Or I don't wanna. So those are really, really, really cute. And then this one, I'm gonna have to hold some of these because obviously they're see-through. Our little chicks. So really, really cute. I like that little angry, the little angry ones are cute. And the little one with the little cleaver. That's hysterical. I'm throwing it. That's hysterical. Those are really cute. I hope you can see them okay. I know the glare is probably really, really not ideal for this. And then this one. So this they look, I don't know if I can get close enough so you can kind of tell. These are actually like beaded bracelets, but they say like YYY, ready, IDGAF, in the groove, nope, I twitch. I do that a lot, like actually in person. My sister and I do. Anxiety Club, I like that one a lot too. So yeah, so these are nice, like if you need lines, you know, to mark maybe, or to separate different parts of it. So yeah, bracelet sticker sayings, really, really cute. This one is all different kinds of little household plants and couches and baskets and little lotion dispensers and a little like cup of soup or cider, and that might be cider actually. It looks like a little apple slice. Laundry basket, knitting. Ooh, look, there's knitting. That's kind of cool. I don't know if y'all can see that or not there. Maybe that helps right there. Knitting. Toothbrushes, a backpack, a little desktop calendar, some mail, little glasses. That's one of those little, I don't know if you can make that out or not, but that's one of those little T-ball strainer things that have like the little, it's like the handle that you push to open and close it. Kettlebells, cardigan. Yeah, this is really, really cute. I like this one a lot. Ooh, look at this one. This one's got some scruffy little black kitties in it, little bat kitties. Those are absolutely adorable. And if I'm not holding all of these up really well, so like these are Heidi Roo, and I'm actually a patron of Heidi Roo, on Patreon, Patreon member. So if I hold one up and you don't see, I think the Sticky Club, like the weekly email or the monthly email before we get our stickers, they tell us about the artists. So if you see any that you're interested in, and also the Sticky Club, here's stickyclub.com. Can you see that? There we go. You can go out and just buy like certain, like they have, and it's not just stickers. I wanted the stickers because I always like stickers for my journal because it means I don't have to get real creative with the artwork. But they sell all kinds of stationery stuff too. So it's not just stickers if you're not really a sticker person. So so these are all like little tickets. just different, you know, different design tickets, but just with different kinds of, like this one says, not gonna overthink about it. Really, really cute. Don't forget to breathe. So those are really cute. And here's some more. Today is a good day to have a good day. Good vibes only. That's not a ticket, but it's cute. Night thinker. See, that used to be me. But I'm in a better place now. But I used to stay up all night, or couldn't sleep well because I'd wake up and my brain would be going 90 or nothing. License to Thrive. I like those. Those are cute. Me time. Me time. So anyways, so those are really, really awesome. And that is, I don't know if y'all can read that, but it's Eureka Art Studio. So that's, or Eureka Art Studio. I was gonna say, it looks like the word Eureka, and then, but then the word art combined with it. So that's kind of hard to pronounce, but that's who makes those stickers. And then here's another Heidi Roo, and these are perfect for this month. Just nice little skulls and pumpkins and moons and black stars. Oh, and they're clear vinyl, or clear, yeah, stickers. So that's really cool. Really, really cool. Oh, and then she put a mood tracker on the back. So this is like, as a matter of fact, where did the other ones go? I mentioned these on the other side. So you could put your little happy, sad, but yeah, it's a little mood tracker calendar thingy. I need to look and see. There wasn't anything on the end. So that was the only one that had a secondary thing on the back. So, but yeah, so I got all of that, and I think this month's subscription price is like, I think this one's like $12 a month or something like that. So I kind of feel like you get a lot for $12. Like if you went to, you know, to the stationery section at a store like Target or somewhere, it seems like you get like 2 or 3 of those like little mini sheets or something, and it might cost you like $3 or $5. So I feel like you get a really good, and plus I got this organizer thingy too. So this was a really good deal. So yeah, so one more time. Hopefully this reads okay and it doesn't wash out. But Sticky Club, that's the information. And like I said, I think there are multiple subscriptions for that. So, all right, everybody, that's it for me on Monday. Either the lawn mowing has stopped or they have moved on to another part of the neighborhood. I don't know which. So, I have both of my cat friends here this evening. I can't believe they're both in here and they're both being quiet. They're just kind of hanging out. So that's kind of awesome. So you all take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you a little later. See ya. Good morning, y'all. It is Tuesday, October the 18th, and I am getting ready to head into work. It is 5:45 in the morning. So I thought I would open this up really quick. I don't know. I don't imagine having a long day at work today, but they've been longer than usual when I go into the office. So I didn't want to put this off, and I knew that this was another pattern, and I was kind of excited about it. And I had a few minutes before I needed to leave. I kind of got everything I needed to get done to head out the door, so I thought I had a few spare minutes to do this. So this is obviously the Haunted America, but this is one of the patterns. So let's see which pattern this is. And this is, looks like the Oxford Saloon by Cobweb and Rose. Oh, and I got more than one little card there. Oops. I hope everybody got theirs. So the Oxford Saloon is in Snohomish, Washington. And there we go. The gem of historic Snohomish is the Oxford Saloon. It was built in 1900 and for a decade was known as Blackman's Dry Goods Store. Then it became a saloon, and over the years it had changed owners and uses. But each owner incorporated Oxford in its name. Over the years, the Oxford Saloon was often the scene of violence, especially around the basement, a men's card room, and the bar. One well-documented killing was that of a policeman named Henry. He was the regular at the Oxford and may have moonlighted as a bouncer. One night there was a fight, and when Henry attempted to break it up, he was knifed and died in the melee. Henry seems to have stuck around and actually enjoys certain aspects of his ghosthood. He hangs out around the stairs leading to the basement and has even been seen many times in the ladies' restroom. Seen and felt, as many women report, being pinched by him. However, Henry always disappears when confronted. So that's really, really interesting. So this is kind of a more, there's nothing really spooky. I mean, there's a spooky story behind the Oxford Saloon, but this isn't necessarily a spooky stitch. So this is actually kind of a nice, if you have someone that, you know, maybe has Western, what am I trying to say? Decorations in their, you know, in a part of their home or something. This would actually be kind of a cool stitch. So that is really, really cool. And I'm not as familiar. I mean, I've heard of Cobweb and Rose, but this is, I think, the first pattern I've ever received by them. So that's kind of a nice thing. That's kind of exciting. So, in addition to that, I thought I would show you, just because I don't know that I've been on here really to point this or to bring this into the vlog, but if you're familiar with Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour, Ellen Reid, who is one of the members of the rock group the Crash Test Dummies, she is a she's a big model stitcher for Evertote, who sells the Leo and Roxy floss in Canada, and she has decided to dip her toe into the designing pool with a pattern, and I'll try to put a full picture here so you know what the full thing looks like. But she just dropped this over the weekend, I think either maybe Saturday or Sunday. And so I actually got started with this over the weekend as soon as it was released. And it's a freebie on Evertote's website. So I'll put the link also in the description box where you can go get yourself a copy. And it's charted in Leo and Roxy. But I'll look and I'll see. But I'm almost positive even though the colors are charted in Leo and Roxy, these are fairly, like, straightforward colors. I mean, it's black, it's brown, it's, you know, just kind of a olivey green, a gold, an orange, you know, a couple of different browns. So it's basically just autumn colors. So, so it would be really easy to, you know, dig in your stash or just find, some DMC flosses that would work, but it's absolutely adorable. Now, hers was stitched on more of a darker autumny, like orangey brown, brownish orangey fabric, but I love, love, love. This is the fabric I just got from Fortnite. It's called Fantasy, and it's got that, you know, that green and purple in it. It's just kind of a really good neutral, so this is actually what I decided I was going to stitch it on. And this is center. Then there's some stuff at the top. There's basically another border. There's nuts and leaves and squirrels and pumpkins, and then just like a viney border on either side, and then more nuts and leaves and squirrels and pumpkins at the top. But this is the size of it. I mean, it's not very big. This is a 32 count, so you know I'm stitching 2/2, so it's more like a 16. But yeah, this is really, really cool. So I'm excited she's done this, and this is just a really good, these are the only words, so basically it's saying that fall is greater than summer, fight me. I couldn't agree more. I absolutely love fall. This is my favorite time of year. So, all right, y'all, I hope y'all are doing well, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye. Well, howdy, y'all. It is Wednesday, October the 19th. It is after work. I'm in my PJs, which I've pretty much been working in all day. Yay me, because I'm at home. And I am watching Arna and Carlos. They're sit and knit for a bit on location today. Normally here lately they've been traveling, so they've been doing it live. However, apparently they had a little bit of an issue with their coverage, internet coverage, so they just recorded a short little video. So I've got a few little videos in the queue lined up there below, so I'm looking forward to a night of stitching while catching up on some of my floss tubers this week and other channels I subscribe to. So I thought I would open up my day 19. And this is probably the floss. So these are the flosses for the Oxford Saloon by Cobweb and Rose. And it's kind of funny because when I first got to looking at it, the red, the blue for sure I recognize. The red, there's some red in there. But the purple is actually in this window right here. So that purple kind of threw me for a loop. So I wasn't expecting that one. And today's card is for the Beast of Bray Road in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. The Beast of Bray Road, also known as the Bray Road Beast and the Wisconsin Werewolf, is purported humanoid wolf-like creature allegedly witnessed in or near the rural county of Elkhorn in Walworth County, Wisconsin. It has since become a part of Wisconsin folklore and has been the subject of multiple books, documentaries, and a 2005 horror film. Named for the farm road in which it was first allegedly sighted, reports for the creature in the 1980s and 1990s prompted a local newspaper, the Walworth County Week, to assign reporter Linda Godfrey to cover the story. Godfrey was initially skeptical but later became convinced of the sincerity of the witnesses. Her series of articles later became a book titled The Beast of Bray Road, Tailing Wisconsin's Werewolf. Reports of a similar creature in the neighboring state of Michigan also tell of an alleged wolf-like humanoid, the Michigan Dogman. So that is really interesting. I've never heard of that one either, so that's definitely another one that I'm sure, you know, just like with everything else, you get enough people with enough sightings of a similar type creature, and yeah, you end up with some very, very spooky stories. All right, so let me put all this away, and I will tell you or show you what I'm planning on working on for the rest of the evening. So I had, I was up early this morning. Again, I usually get up between 5 and 6 a.m. and decided to put a few more stitches into Ellen Reid's Fall is Greater Than Summer chart. So I got some more of the of this border done. I already had the pumpkins done, but I got their faces in, and then I had a little bit of black left over from that, so I started this outside. This is actually the outside border that'll go all around, and that will be the finish. So I started working on that this morning. So I pulled a few threads, so I'm going to stitch the one remaining thread of charcoal here that I pulled for it, and then I'm going to switch over. I'm at about 30% or so, or I think I was at 30% last night, so I might be at like 35% or something now. So I'm moving right along on this, so I'm really, really happy. But there are a couple of colors in this that I'm also using for another pattern that I want to start today. One of which is this charcoal, another of which, well, actually a couple of them. The yellow is Tournesol, and this orange is Pumpkin Up the Jam, but I have multiple skeins of both of these. But I realized in doing this morning that because I had pulled some of these colors from another pattern I was going to do for the winter season, I thought I would go ahead and maybe get that one started. Some of you may know I have been converting some of Michelle G. Bendy Stitchy's patterns to Leo and Roxy. So I had this one charted up, or converted, and she and I have talked a little bit about it. This is I'm going to pull out the rest because I actually cut the piece that I wanted to use, but this is a Bestitch Me, a 16 count, called It's a Mystery. And as you can kind of see here, there's quite a bit of purple in this, and it's absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous fabric, but there is quite a bit of purple, and I have nothing wrong with purple, but as you can see, the kind of the fabric she used in her chart, her original stitch was more of a blue. And I was going to look and see, is it on the back? Yeah, 32 count Nocturne from Picture This Plus. So when I was pulling this fabric, I really, really, really wanted to use this fabric. And there is still, as you can see, a little bit of purple. But this is a 6-inch hoop, and this is going to be about a 4.5 by 4.5 inch stitch. So it probably won't be a hoop finish. I don't know. I kind of like that square. I do like the way that looks. That's mounted on obviously a piece of like a wooden pallet, you know, hanging, you know, because it's got rope so you can hang it on the wall or whatever. Ilanka, if you're watching this, let me know when I get done with this, if this is kind of a small enough stitch, you and I promised you that I would do an easel tutorial for you, similar to my Noelle. And if this fits or looks pretty close to the size, that would make it'd be a little bit bigger than, or definitely bigger than that Noelle. But that is what I might do with this, and I might use this as my tutorial to do an easel for you. And we'll do that, you know, I'll do that as a separate tutorial. So let me know if you're watching down in the comments, because you always comment. Hey, let me know what you think, because that might be a good, another good easel finish. But anyway, so I pulled pretty much everything, you know, Leo and Roxy related. But then when I was kitting up for Ellen's fall project, there were a couple I had to pull out of here. So I need to pull, fortunately, the black, the charcoal, I only need like 12 stitches. It's truly just like the snowman, just his face, and then the bird's eyes and his buttons. So I don't need much of that at all. The other one is the tournesol, the yellow, and that is just the star at the top. So I think if I'm kind of splitting my time between these two projects, this one will get done probably, I don't know, first, but since I've got a head start on it, it might get done ahead of time, since also it's a fall stitch and this is more of a winter stitch. But because I don't need that much thread out of this, I'm going to keep these together for Ellen's project and then just pull them when I need them. I won't even need one thread probably for the snowman, for the black, for the charcoal. And then when it comes time, I'll just pull the yellow that I need for the star, because I don't think it's very many stitches either. So anyway, those are my plans. And I am going to head back up to Arna and Carlos and finish watching them. And hopefully we will be... There they are right there, still talking away. So that'll give me something to do for the next couple of hours before bedtime. So I hope you all are doing well, and I will catch up with you again tomorrow. Bye, friends. Well, hey, everybody. It is Thursday, October the 20th. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. I am starting... rewatching the live stream of the Knitting Posse. They were on earlier today, live on YouTube, but I was working, so I didn't get a chance to watch. So I'm watching the replay of it. A lot of the knitters, knitting channels that I follow, a lot of them just got back from Rhinebeck, which is it used to be, I don't know what exactly it used to be called, but it was like the something sheep and wool festival. But Rhinebeck is in upstate New York, and it's kind of a big deal, or not a big deal, but it's kind of a thing for, you know, knitters and crocheters, fiber artists. And, you know, the thing here in the U.S. is everybody starts talking about their Rhinebeck sweater, which is basically the sweater they're going to knit to wear to Rhinebeck each year, and that kind of thing. So I thought I would just watch their recap of their time there. I'm sure I will be hearing a lot of familiar names of other knitters, because I've watched several other channels already, and they've talked about this group as well as others that they ran into while they were there. So while I'm watching that, I thought I would open my October 20th Haunted Days of America from Fangirl Fibers, if you've been following along. And I think this one's fabric because of the way it feels. Nice flat package. Yeah, it's another piece of fabric. And is there usually if there's a card, it's usually tucked in the fabric. And these have actually been really nice because these have been pretty big pieces. So like this is still folded into fourths. And this piece is roughly, looks like 9 inches by 6 inches. So these have all been really large pieces of linen, which has been nice. So even hopefully if even some of these larger projects don't fit on the whole thing, you know, there's enough left over for extras, or if I choose to use a different piece of fabric for some of the patterns we've been given, that these can then be used for something else. So, and then of course the card for today is for the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Eastern State Penitentiary was once the most famous and expensive prison in the world, but stands today in ruin, a haunting world of crumbling cell blocks and empty guard towers. Its vaulted, skylit cells once held many of America's most notorious lawbreakers, including Slick Willie Sutton and Scarface Al Capone. Although executions were not carried out at Eastern State, the prison was home to its fair share of murderers. At least 2 guards were murdered over the years, as were many inmates. Hundreds of others died from disease and old age. The grounds are haunted with the spirits who have met their end. So, that's kind of spooky and creepy. It doesn't mention, if you at all are interested, if you plan on visiting any of these places, it doesn't say. I would think if it's in ruin, it's probably not open to the public, but maybe like it's somewhere where you could at least drive by and see it. But yeah, so there's no mention of, you know, visitors and running into haunted apparitions or whatever while visiting. So I have to think that it's probably closed to the public. And in case any of y'all have forgotten, the last pattern was that Oxford Saloon. So this one's a pretty big pattern. I have to think if this linen were used, it would probably take up most of the piece. But it is a nice neutral, so that's good. If that were a stitch that I might like to do in the future. So I will put that away with the rest of that. And that means there's only 11 days left till Halloween, y'all. And I mentioned last night that I was working on a couple of projects. I will start with my Fall is Greater Than Summer. This is the Ellen Reid pattern, and I got a bit more stitching done. So I think I'm right at or almost at 50%, which is good. So I got most of this green done. I had to take out, I had 2 other orange sections here, but I got, when I started filling in the green around them, I realized they were off half a stitch. This is linen, and I'm doing over 2, so I had to pull those 2 out. So I'll restitch those. But then I don't think I had the mug done or the acorn, so I got those done. And of course, because I was working with the green today, I got the stems done on the pumpkins. So that is where I am there. So I'm going to stitch on this a little bit more tonight. But yeah, I'll definitely be over 50% when I post it on Instagram later. And then I also mentioned that I was starting another Leo and Roxy conversion for Michelle from Bendy Stitchy. So I'm working on trimming the tree. And here is where I am. And he looks so cute. And this was kind of an interesting conversion, simply because there's actually, hold on a second. I always forget to turn on that second light because you can actually see it better now. So there's actually two distinctive, like a pinky red, and then a more Christmassy red. And then in his, he's got a distinctive kind of shadowy, you know, very light silvery gray shadow on his body. So that's kind of what I woke up this morning and had a little bit of time, so that's kind of what I stitched on today, was getting those alternate colors in. So the secondary, the pinky red, is also part of his hat, and then the Christmassy red is like the brim. So I will work on that. But this will be nice. I'm actually going to put most of him off to the side, and I'll probably do the same thing for the tree. But what I'd like to do is get to the point where it's just fill in, because that, to me, I can sit and watch TV, you know, and not really have to pay any attention. But yeah, so I got, and I don't, it's kind of funny, between these two patterns, and I kind of mentioned this before, this was the yellow that I'm using here. So I'm done with that color, and then the orange is used in both, but I had enough skeins of both. As a matter of fact, this is actually a different color yellow. It's more of a straw color, you know, a little bit brown, because that's actually for the birds, the three little birds. Oh, but the other color that I did not have here, but because I was using it here, but I only needed it, was the charcoal. So the only three places I have left, because I filled in all of that, the only three places I have left are just the eyeballs on the birds. But I'm not really, what I was starting to say was, I'm not really color completing. What I'm trying to do, though, was get done with the colors that I knew were overlap, so I didn't have to keep trying to borrow. But then also trying to you know, at least get done with the colors that don't have very much involvement, because then I can go back, and I kind of, what I like to do is what I call like thread completion. So if I pull a hank, that, let's say, is going to end up being like three threads, it's 6 strands, but 3 threads, because I'm stitching over 2, I try to complete that entire, one before changing, you know, before changing colors, or if I color complete, you know, get just done with that color. So that's kind of what I do, and it breaks up the monotony a little bit. Also, working on 2 projects at the same time also does that too, but it just helps. And then the other thing is I haven't involved myself so much with a single color that if I mess up, that there's so much thread involved with taking it back out. That was what was kind of nice about realizing that I'd made a mistake with those little orange decorations on the side on that one. Was I had just, you know, I just needed to clip out and restitch, you know, just a few stitches on that one. So it just kind of helps make things a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm really, really liking it. And I do like this, you know, this to me is more of like a denim, not denim, what am I trying to say? This is just a darker blue, but it's got a little bit of a green to it, whereas in the picture, and I realize the pictures really don't do it, I mean, I feel like I'm doing a pretty okay job with the colors, but it is kind of funny sometimes how the pictures might not represent the truest. This one I think does in a lot of ways, the truest color. It will be nice though to see some variegation as opposed to using like a straight up DMC on this also. But so I'm kind of curious, because this blue to me looks more purpley, more icy blue than this does. But yeah, so I really like it. And you know, the other funny thing was I was sitting here and I was going, oh yeah, there are snowflakes in this I need to stitch. But for some reason, that little splotch right there kind of looks like just a faint, like either starburst or snowflake right there too. And of course this one, is going to come in right about here. So yeah, and then the other one will be up here in this corner. So I'm really digging it. So I hope you all are enjoying your week, and I will catch up with you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Well, happy Friday, everybody. How are you all doing? I am doing really well. I'm glad it's Friday. Yay. It is October the 21st, and I happened to finish a knitting project today. Hold on. I gotta figure out where I put it. So before I get into my plans for this evening, as far as cross stitch goes, I thought I would show you. I finished another Keep Slipping hat by Shannon Squire Designs. This was a hat that I had intended to make to take with me. I knit one as part of their socks and hats on vacay make along during the summer, and I started one and finished it during that time period, but I actually never took a picture of it or posted it on social media or anything. And I started this one during that same time period. So roughly there, originally it was socks on vacay, so you used any knitted wit yarn with any Shannon Squire pattern, sock pattern, and the socks on vacay roughly ran from like Memorial Day to Labor Day, and it just kind of depended on how the weekends fell, as to, you know, giving you a certain number of weeks to do a sock pattern and participate and put all your pictures on social. You know, you put your starting and your finishing on social media and that kind of thing. So this year, I think, was the first year they added the category of hats. And so I did. I actually bought the Keep Slipping hat and stitched, and I'm looking behind me because somewhere is my Keep Slipping hat, but I don't know my original one. And I did it in Knitted Wit Petrified Forest. And so this is actually a worsted weight yarn, so it goes pretty quick. My first one I started like right at the start date because I was preparing to take it with me on vacation, and then I got COVID. And so it only took me a couple of weeks to do, but it was like my I'm homesick hat. I got it done, so it went pretty good. This one ended up being my second one, and what ended up happening was I started it prior to my vacation that I rescheduled, Labor Day weekend, and then never got it finished in time for vacation, and then just it kind of sat. So this is the yarn I use. This is what's left of it, which obviously there's quite a bit. This is a worsted weight. This is an old Knitology, which was an old Knit Crate colorway that I think maybe Brooklyn Boy Knits kind of helped with this colorway. But anyways, it's got a lot of purples and blues and grays, and of course you can see it much better in the hat. But essentially just never got it done. Well, the other thing, the reason why I keep kind of holding it back or up or whatever and not showing you the top is instead of doing a crown decrease, you know, and closing it off, I ended up making a hole. My original intent, and you can kind of see it in there, the sparkle, was to put a scrunchie, an elastic in it, because I wanted a ponytail hole in the top, and so I wanted it to be to have some stretch. But then I realized how big, you can see where that ponytail holder is. It's really big, and I have really fine thin hair, so I ended up actually doing some kind of weird combination of knitting / crochet. I used a crochet hook and the knitting needles to basically finish this off. So what I ended up doing was after I crocheted around the ponytail holder in order to get it in the hat, here I'll show you the inside too so you can kind of see it's kind of crocheted around. Once I realized, and I got that hole done, that if I bound that off, that was a huge hole at the top of the head still. I decided, okay, well then I basically, because I picked those stitches back up on my needles, I knit those last 2 decreasing rows, and instead of just running the tail end through and cinching it tight, because I knew I was going to have this weird whatever, and I did still want a hole for a ponytail, I ended up just using the crochet hook and like single crocheting, like a crocheted bind off kind of, sort of, just some weird variation of it. But what that means is there's no stretch anymore. I mean, this is a pretty static, stationary hole. So anyways, but what I thought I'd show you was, I haven't tried it on yet. So let's just see how well this goes. And I've got a ponytail thing here, but my hair, I mean, I have a lot of volume because of the curl, but I have very, very actual little hair. So it winds up, or it gets pretty tight. When my hair's really fluffy though, when it is really curly, I have the volume kind of creates more, you know, a thicker mass than it really is. So I'm hoping this works well. But essentially all I was wanting to do was, I realized all the most recent knitted hats that I've made for myself were all when about 3 or 4 or 5, yeah, maybe it's almost been 5 years ago, I cut all my hair off, like really, really short, like shaved on the sides, just curly on the top. And so I was knitting a lot of hats because during the winter I didn't have the hair to protect basically my head. So I'm gonna see if this works. About to find out if it works or not, and either I'll speed this up or I will. You guys will just follow along while I try to do this. I'm gonna see if I can pull it through. What I may have to do is do it like this. Grab it with my fingers and then pull it through. Dang it. Now I've completely lost where I'm at here. It's almost like I need a big huge crochet hook just to pull my hair through because this hole is actually a lot smaller than I realized. I mean, looking back on it now, I probably should have just left the big old stretchy hole in it. But I got it. It won't be perfect, but it'll be something. But especially when I do wear this, I now have a nice big curly ponytail on the top. Yay! And y'all see this stupid ponytail a lot because this is how I wear most of my hair most of the time when I'm A, at home, B, you know, don't have any plans, not going out with anybody, and C, when it's hot and my hair is just too much. So there you go, guys. That's my hat finished, and it covers up my ears really well. That was the other thing. I think the other version that I made, and that might be my starting spot right there, but that's okay. I don't mind where that's at. I kind of want to put a tag. I bought these leather tags to like finish off. So I may, this is not, I'm saving this tag for something else, but like Leo and Roxy Yarn does tags, but basically the way they work is you either sew them on, then you have a nice little leather tag on your hat, or you, some of the ones I have actual like screw brads, so that way when you can unscrew them, take them off, take this off when you wash your hand knit, and then put it back on. So I might put a tag on there. I might not. I might just leave it like it is. Sometimes these get shared in my household. Probably not this one with the ponytail hole, but... So yeah, this actually turned out really, really cute. It was a little bit of a struggle to get my ponytail out, but after I did, it turned out really, really well. And I'm sorry I'm fooling with my hair. I was just trying to see, like as I pull on the ponytail, for instance, like, see, I've got to be careful that my ponytail stays up on my head. So awesome. So I'm going to turn the camera around here because we have another day for Haunted America. And then, like I said, I will show you my stitching plans for the evening. And show you kind of where I got to after I let you go yesterday evening. Okay, so this is my 31 Days of Haunted America for today. And this is kind of a small one. This might be a another little side stitchy but not stitchy related. Oh, cool. So we got little Halloween charms. Oh, there you go. Sorry, guys. Pumpkin and a ghost and a little witch that can be attached to different projects. That's really, really, really cool. And so there's that. And today's card is for the Red Onion Saloon in Skagway, Alaska. One of the most recognizable spirits in the Red Onion Saloon is Lydia. Lydia was one of the prostitutes of the former brothel. The years may have passed, but her spirit apparently did not. There have been various reports of footsteps heard on the second floor where the brothel used to be. The strong smell of perfume would linger in the air. And there would also be extreme cold spots where the smell of perfume had originated. Once there was a great disturbance on the upper floor, so the police were called to check. As they approached the stairs, they saw a figure, believed to be the ghost of Lydia, running down the hall and into a room which was once the former madam's. So very, very cool. Alright, so that is that. Sometime this evening, because it is Friday, the second drop for Stiach should happen, so I am looking forward to that. So I've got to make that part of my plans for this weekend. In addition, I am continuing to work on my Fall is Greater Than Summer pattern by Reid. So I got my 2 orange sections fixed. I believe I added this pumpkin maybe, and that may be about as far as I got yesterday. Normally I would have stitched a bit more today, but I had to go into work, so this all kind of stayed home. So I'll get some more done this evening on that. And then Michelle's project for my Leo Roxy conversion of trimming the tree. I got further down. I've still got the big part of this trunk to do right here, but I got most of the tree done, and then got the ornaments in, and then got his little hat, the little brim of his hat done. So yep, so I'm moving right along on that as well. So those will be my 2 main projects, like I said, this evening. And then if Stiach drops at some point, I will get going on that. And I am, weirdly enough, I am kind of caught up on all of my YouTube watching, like all the subscription channels that I normally watch. There's only been 2 or 3 little things that have dropped here recently, and then there was someone suggested in my YouTube feed that I wanted to look at, try one of their YouTube, one of their YouTube videos. It's a yarn channel, so so it was like a 20-minute video, so I thought I would try that. And then that's going to be about it for me this evening. If there's nothing else to find, I may go back and catch up on some actual TV watching. I think I have several episodes of Rings of Power to watch, the Lord of the Rings prequel, and then I think I'm caught up on everything else TV related, but the new Andor on Disney Plus I think drops on Wednesday, so I may have a new episode of that as well. Alright, y'all, so take care of each other, and if I have another day or 2 this week, or this weekend I mean, I'll try to drop in maybe one more video before I upload this on Sunday or Monday. Take care, guys. Bye. Good morning, y'all. It is Saturday, October the 22nd, and I've got another package to open for the Haunted Days, or 31 Days of Haunted America. And so I thought I would open that and then tell you about my weekend plans. Let's see if I can do this one-handed here. There we go. Everything come out. Oh, we got more floss drops. Yay. More floss drops. These are really pretty. Sparkly, sparkly. So cute. Black one. And the little ghosties. Really cute. And then this is just a shiny black acrylic. Sorry about that. Then the card is for the RMS Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. Queen Mary, a ship that was converted into a hotel and permanently docked in Long Beach, California, is as stately as they come. But don't let its lush appearance fool you. It also happens to be one of the most haunted hotels in America. Stateroom B340. This stateroom was a problem long before the Queen Mary opened as a hotel. In 1948, a British third-class passenger, Walter J. Adamson, passed away in the room, and the details of his death are unknown. Later, in 1966, a woman staying in the room reported that she was woken up when the bed covers were pulled off her and she saw a man standing at the foot of her bed. She screamed and rang for the steward, but the man apparently vanished into thin air. So yeah, creepy, creepy. I don't do ships or hotel ships, I guess. I've never been on a hotel ship. Interesting. All right. But yeah, very, very cool. These are really cute. I love the sparkly. The sparkly one is awesome. Really, really, really cute. Yay. So I will add that to the others. And then let me show you where I stopped last night. So this is, of course, Ellen Reid's Fall is Greater Than Summer. So I got a little bit more done. I'm at 60%. I've been posting in my stories every night. I try to hit a 10% mark, so I'm at 60%. So got the other mugs done, and I think that's really about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, the squirrel. The one squirrel. I got the one squirrel started and finished. So that's where I am at on that one. And then on my trimming the tree, I got everything done but the light green and the rest of the white. So ta-da! It is so cute. I love these little birdies. They are adorable. They're absolutely adorable. They're this so they're kind of like this tannish, you know, golden brown color, because that's actually yellow. This is the color I'm using is called Haystack. So it's really, really cute. So yeah, so that's all I have left to do. Exciting, exciting. And if I can do this the way I hope, the snowman will be easy to do, because what I want to do is just trace him, and then just, you know, then I can sit anywhere, do anything, and just fill in. The tree, I think it's going to be a little more difficult, but I think it can still be done. Just trace the outline and across and back around, and then just fill in all the green. So, but yeah, it's so cute. It's so cute. And then, of course, the snowflakes. I got to do the snowflakes also. Looking so good. Yay, yay, yay. So, in addition to that, I kind of knew this yesterday, but I didn't know it, or hadn't confirmed it until like late last night. So I'm going to mention this today. This is the weekend of October 22nd, 23rd, which is, I guess, a 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. So I don't participate like formally, but it's always been intriguing to try. So I'm going to loosely keep track of my time. And actually, I kind of started last night because, or started using the hours that I stitched last night, because 24 hours even in 2 days is long. I mean, it's 12 hours and 12 hours, and you need, you know, biology breaks, and you need to eat and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so it's about 6 a.m. I will probably start around 7, start counting my hours around 7. But I did stitch for 3 hours last night, and I think, based on the number of stitches I have remaining for both of these, that I might actually get these done if I stitch. I don't even think I have to stitch the full 24 hours, but I think at the rate that I stitch, I might just have these done this weekend, which would just be awesome. Yay! So we'll see. So anyways, the stitching I got done last night, I got 3 hours in yesterday evening before I called dinner night. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And so if that is the case, I want to introduce you to, I'm kind of digging this picking two things, like, and just kind of going back and forth on them, especially when they're reasonably not that terribly big. And when they're, sorry, I got distracted there for a second. When they're, something, you know, seasonal, or something that I'm trying to finish, or something I want, you know, I know the finish I have in mind, or, you know, all of those things. So, if I get these two done, then there are two things I'd like to start next. One of which was released last night. This was not a decision until this morning, because if you follow Uncanny Kari on Instagram and or on Patreon, which Patreon's where I saw it first, this is her new release. And it's just absolutely adorable. So I had to buy it like first thing this morning. So this is going to be my next stitch. And of course it's just the, you know, this from the moon to the flowers at the bottom. So it's basically that right there. But isn't that gorgeous? So I think that's going to be my next stitch. There's a lot of fill in there, so I have to be prepared for that. But there's a lot of negative space too. I wanted to look and see. It's 109 by 125, so it's not small. And it says, I guess whoever stitched it, I would think she stitched it. But her pattern dimensions, she gives 18 count over 1. Wow, if that's over 1, that's gorgeous. 18 count is a little over 8 inches by 8 3/4 inches. So it won't be small. It'll be, you know, from, you know, basically this right here. So, yeah, I need to find fabric. I have only stitched on one thing ever on black, and I don't think I will ever do that again, but maybe I have like a dark gray or something that will work. So I need to look through my stash and then see if I can pull the colors. There aren't very many colors. There's only like, it looks like 5 or 6 maybe. 5. So that's awesome. So that's one. And then the other one I kind of wanted to start, just happened to be the one that Dee and Kari just released together, this. But I want to do the minis, the mini cards, not the big one. I mean, the big one's cute too, but I don't know that I want to do that fabric. I kind of like the yellow stripes, the spiral stripes better. But I thought I've downloaded, sorry guys, this is a PDF, so it's on my iPad. I like these. So I was going to do one of these first. They're smaller. So we'll see. I also need to, if I get done with trimming the tree, I need to find another, I have 1, 2, I have 3 more of Michelle's patterns that I've pulled to convert. So I've got those as well to do. So I may, since I'm going to do one of Kari, or I'm definitely going to do that pumpkin Kari one, maybe I'll put off the Italian horror ones for a little bit, because those can be done anytime. It is October, but those aren't necessarily something that have to be done during a spooky season. So I may push those back a couple of weeks, and if it ends up being November, it ends up being November. So anyway, those are my plans. Hope you all have a nice weekend. It is starting to warm up here again, so I'm hoping that the cooler weather, I don't think it's supposed to get here till midweek next week, but it'll cool off again. So I'm back in shorts and sandals and t-shirts and stuff. I know it's getting to be the last week in October. It's ridiculous. If any of you live around here, you probably know this already, but for us specifically in North Central Texas, I've always said the defining line of whether or not we're going to get a cold autumn, winter, into early spring is always Halloween night. There have been, I can remember times as a kid, Halloween night, either you'd be freezing to death, have your winter coat on over your costume, and your parents waiting for you in the car, keeping it warm while you're trick-or-treating, or you try to find a costume that has as much circulation as possible, because you end up sweating through it. And it's ridiculous. But that's usually the night that kind of determines, are we going to have a mild winter, or are we going to have a warm, or, a mild, warm winter, or are we going to have a cold winter? So, anyway, and I'm hoping we're headed towards a cold one. I mean, I don't need it to be terribly cold. I mean, we've already been on the news once now for having blackouts because the snow and cold and whatever, but not actually getting a season, having it be warm all winter is absolutely just not fun. I mean, it's like you completely missed out on it, and it's not great. Oh, and one more thing this weekend, for my 24 hours cross stitch. I'm probably going to knock this out first thing this morning, but they dropped part 2 of Stitch, so I'm going to get that done. Again, it's just a couple hundred stitches, so it'll probably take me a little bit more than, a little over an hour, maybe right at an hour, and then I'll have that knocked out. So that's my plans. Sorry for the rambles about the weather and the winter. All right, y'all, take care of each other, and I'll try to remember to bumper this at the end of the weekend when my 24 hours of stitching is officially done, and I'll let you know how much I actually stitched, how many hours I actually stitched, and show you where I got to. So I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, and I'll see you later. Bye. Well, good morning, y'all. It is Sunday, October 23rd, and I am here. I'm going to show you my progress on my pseudo 24 hours cross stitch, and then we've got another little package to open really quick. This one is kind of heavy, so I'm kind of curious what is in. Oh, pair of scissors. Yee! That's amazing. Very cool. I like these little travel scissors too. Those are nice. This is the second pair I've got now. And the card is for the Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Pfister Hotel is one of Milwaukee's most historic and luxurious places to stay. It's been around for nearly 130 years and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It's also supposedly haunted. The Pfister has hosted every U.S. president since William McKinley. Elvis stayed there in 1977, just 4 months before he died. Most notably, the hotel is often the place to stay for many visiting baseball teams in town to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. There's a long list of baseball players who've described strange occurrences at the hotel. That includes everything from weird noises to flickering lights to electronics acting strangely to things being moved around in rooms. And then there's what Carlos Martinez experienced in 2018. The quote, "The Cardinals pitcher woke up in the middle of the night and jumped on Instagram saying that he had been touched by the Pfister ghost," Lardnois says. Well, the next day he plays terribly, he blames it on the Pfister ghost, and the city cheers. So how do you not love the Pfister ghost who just wants the Brewers to win? That's kind of funny. It's really funny how superstitious any kind of sports athletes, players are, because yeah, if you think your hotel might benefit, or your team might benefit by putting the visiting team up in a hotel, by all means do it. Okay, so we will put all this away. Got a nice little pair of scissors. Trying to do that one-handed. It's kind of hard to get them open, which is good. These travel scissors are meant to be, you know, kind of a little more difficult to assemble or whatever. So yeah, they do make good for good small pair of scissors to travel with. Like I said, I've got a couple of pairs of these, so one more pair doesn't hurt to have in a bag somewhere for something. Like for instance, my little Notions pouch. So yesterday, I'm going to show you my progress from yesterday. This is my Stiach. Part 2 again was real short. It was only a couple of hundred stitches. Knocked it out in a couple of hours. Just a reminder, there's kind of some crassy, snarky stuff going on here. But it even got snarkier, I suppose. I don't know what the deal is. So, again, this won't be the final finish. This has nothing to do with anything. But apparently now we've got the word cool taco in addition to the other word. And, so yeah, and then there was some additional, there's an additional color around the edge here, and then these got one more color, and then all the rest was just, the additional letters. So, there we go. That's where we're at there. Wait another week for more. Oh, let me put my threads back in here. That's the other thing about Stiach is because you're jumping all over the place, you're only using maybe, you know, one thread at a time. So when you pull threads, it's like, it's kind of difficult to do, you know, keep track of. So you just kind of wad them all up and stick them in there with your project, because you know you'll use the colors more than one. I mean, you know, jumping around, just doing small little bits and pieces here and there. So, all right. So yesterday I continued to work on my 2 main projects. Here's my Ellen Reid. Fall is greater than summer. I have got everything done now except for the green, the remaining green here, and then basically the black. So I've got 2 pumpkin faces. I think the squirrel's eyes are in black, and then the rest of this border, and then the rest of this border. I actually pulled, if you're a numbers person, so fall greater than summer, I'm at 75%, and I have 55 stitches left. That's it. So I will definitely get that done today. I stitch roughly about 150 stitches an hour. So that'll be that'll probably take me about 4 hours to do. And then trimming the tree, I'm at 67%. I would actually be further along than this. And I'll show you why here in a minute. And I have 750 stitches left, and they are all just green and white. So, all I have left is the rest of him, the other half of this, because I'm going to have to take this off the hoop, and then just the light green on the tree, and then I am done. So, I would actually be further along than this, but because of your back-to-back, you may have you may have seen before, this dark green was a different color green. And what ended up happening was, as I was stitching the lighter green in there, you couldn't differentiate between the 2 colors. So I went back and I pulled all the darker green out. It was kind of like a medium green compared to this green. So pulled all of that out and then restitched it. Actually, what I did first was I pulled out like these 3 branches right here. And then, because I had already had the green down to about right here, so I pulled all that out, stitched it with the darker green, and it looked good. So then I went and pulled the rest of it out, stitched all the dark green again, and then went back to fill in this here. So yeah, and the 1447, that's what I have left of my 24 hours. So, I'm not going to stitch 15 hours today. That's a long time. I didn't even stitch the 12. But I will say, that doesn't include my frogging time. So I don't know, you know, I don't know the rules, but I probably should have counted that time, because that was probably a good hour or two of, you know, pulling out all those other stitches. So I should probably count that. I may actually be closer to 12 hours. But when I got to that point, you know how like you get to a certain point where a project frustrates you and you're like, dang it. And you know, you're going to have to pull stitches out, and you're just like, so I had taken a break at that point. So I just paused my timer, and then I forgot to unpause it until once I realized I was stitching again. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to start the timer again, or start where I left off. So, but anyways, it looks really, really cute. He's really adorable. Really liking it. So yeah, this is all white right here, and then this line comes down one more all the way across to meet up over here, and then there's just a little bit of white over here. So these are actually really good. The green I have to pay a bit more attention to, because obviously this is where it stops here. There's just really just a little bit left on this side. Here's the picture. So you can kind of see there's just this little corner right here. But you do kind of have to pay attention where it comes up, especially up here at the top. So the snowman's easier because it's just a straight, I mean, it's just a straight line till you get to that point, and then down and then over. But this will take a little more concentration. But that is it. So I still hope to have those two done today. And then in addition, as a bonus, I will show you Kari's new pumpkin patch pattern. I did actually do a little bit today. So this is the first time I am stitching. This is a 32 count, but I am stitching 1/2. And I have never done that before. I always like really, really dark coverage, or really, you know, full coverage on mine. But I knew this was going to be sparkly, so I kind of wanted to see. So this is just a little tiny bit of the pumpkin's face. This will be the eye right here. So I just got these few stitches done. And the reason why I don't have more of this done is I probably ripped out and restitched probably where the eye is right here over, like these few stitches. I probably put that in wrong at least 2 times. I probably had to pull it out at least twice and stitch it again, because the line, the pages, where the page ends is right there. Oh, it's trying to focus. There we go. Right there. So I could not, for the life of me, get the next few stitches on the second page right. I couldn't, my brain could not figure out, even though it shows you where the numbers are and the lines are, and it was right, because basically this is kind of the center right here. It's the center start. So I knew exactly where I was. I just kept putting these 2 rows of stitches down wrong. Like, I kept trying to line it up further down. So, needless to say, that's what ended up happening. So, but I got a little bit done on that. And I said I wasn't going to start this till I finished the other 2, but I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to get a few stitches in. So, anyway, that is it for now. And I will hopefully have a couple of finishes to show you later on today. So take care, guys. Bye. Alright, y'all. So it is Sunday evening. I thought I would just kind of do this as just a final post, just to let you know where everything stood for the weekend. My timer, I think I had about 10 hours left of the 24 hours, so didn't get as much stitching done today. Sunday's usually a household chore day anyway. A lot of things to do. But obviously, 24 hours is a lot of stitching. So that tends to kind of wear you down a little bit as you get closer to the end. So, but I'm pretty happy with my progress. So this is my trimming the tree, and that's where I got all the rest of the green done, which looks really, really good. And I got quite a bit more of the snowman done. And I forgot to mention before the snowflakes, there's one more over here too. So I've just got the rest of his body, this other snowflake, and then this little bit of white here. So as soon as I get done with, I don't think I'm going to be able to stitch this snowflake over here without taking it off the hoop. Plus I know I've got to take off the hoop to do this little bit right here. So probably what I will do is finish this up first. But I looked, I've only got about 300, a little over 300 stitches left. So it's just a couple more hours worth of stitches, not a whole lot. And I am at 85%. So I feel really, really good about this. I got a lot done. And considering, this is just fill in. I mean, it's just going to go really, really quick. The snowflake will go really fast too because they're duplicates, so that'll go really quick also. I just need to get this hoop off and get this ironed. So I'm done with that. But the bigger news is, if you do or don't follow me on Instagram, I finished Ellen Reid's Fall is Greater Than Summer, and I made it into this little picket sign thing. It's really small. So if you followed me on Instagram, you will have seen I will have posted some pictures of myself just out in the backyard fooling around with the camera and trying to get some pictures of this in one of our crepe myrtles that's actually starting to turn leaves. A little bit. So that's my finish, and it's just this is that sticky board, that matte board, it's probably like a 1/4 inch thick, and then pinned it down, hot glued the trim around the edge, and then hot glued, so you can see my scraggly fabric there, but hot glued it to the fence post thingy. And this was a find like in the dollar spot at Target. So it was like $3 roughly or something like that. I forgot I already took the tag off of it. But yeah, so I finished it. The only thing, so I pretty much, she did a Leo and Roxy mock-up, workup of the colors. The only colors that I did not have were the yellow, the orange, the green, and I think the dark brown. So, but other than that, I mean, I used all Leo and Roxy. This is a Fortnite Fabrics, a 32 count. I think it was just this month's fabric of the month, called Fantasy. So that was, the fabric that I used, and it only took, I mean, I cut a lot of scrap fabric off of it, but I only used like half of it. So I've still got another whole half put away in the package. So, but that's my finish, yay! And that's part of the reason too why I didn't get nearly as many. I mean, I could have counted the hours I put into fully finishing this, I suppose, but there was probably at least a good hour of finishing, and then another hour of goofing around in the backyard taking pictures. So I probably, did not use my 24 hours to my full cross stitch advantage, but yeah, it was great. It was a nice break, that's for sure, just to get it done. So anyway, so that is my Sunday evening. I think this is it for me. I've got the rest of the evening. I need to fix me some dinner and do all the nightly rituals, but I definitely want to decompress some. Again, that was a lot of cross stitching this weekend, so I hope you all are doing well and staying safe, and if your weather is improving where you are, I hope that's the way you want it, the way you like it. So this will be it for me this week, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.